Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere, nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. Goldbelly ships Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garden's famous cakes. So, if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT. That's goldbelly.com, promo code GIFT.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. Join the 6-time World Heavyweight Champion, 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, and WWE NXT announcer, Booker T. Booker T. Alongside his right-hand man, the BOAT, Brad Gilmore, as they discuss everything from inside the ring to the backstage and beyond. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom, welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer, man. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, as always, and we getting ready to do this thing, dog. But before we get started, like we always do, we want to thank the people for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes and caviar dreams, man. Look, I'm feeling damn good. I had the weekend off. I got to work out this week, so I'm still looking jacked. I'm still looking real jacked. You know what I mean? So my thing is, I'm getting ready for showdown going down tonight here in Orlando, Florida. That's where I'm at right now, residing in Orlando, Florida. I'm at the moment at the Hyatt. Get a Hyatt some big shout out, because they always take care of me, balcony suite and everything. I'm talking about balcony all the way around the building. You know what I mean? Presidential suite, all that there. But no, man. Brad. Oh, okay. You look like you stuck there for me. You good?
I was just frozen.
How you look frozen? I swear to God, I'm like, wait, is he frozen? How you feel, man?
Y'all feeling good, Book? You know, like it was a turn of events for us this week. Normally, I have the weekend off and I'm relaxing, and you're on the road somewhere. I'm just getting back from Los Angeles, California, where the weather was so beautiful. Yeah, I do love the weather in Los Angeles. I understand why people pay 60% of their salaries to live there, but it was nice to land back here at good old Houston, Texas early this morning.
Yeah, the hell with that 60%.
Hell with that, man. I'll go touch in, touch out, visit for a moment, and then head out. But it was a great time. It was a great time out there in LA.
Yeah. No, man, no doubt. But my weekend just consisted of watching football, man. There's some really, really good football on this week, man. And that Jacksonville, Kansas City game last night. God, man, what a game. You know what I mean? What a game. What a finish. And I'm going to tell you, man, big ups. Big ups to the Jaguars, man, for going out there and pulling that thing off. That 2-minute drill. I was just practicing that 2-minute drill, playing that new Madden 26. Why you looking at me like that? I'm serious. I was just practicing, and it took me like 10 tries before I could get to the end zone. You know what I mean? So Trevor definitely went out there and managed that clock. I think he had a minute and 45 seconds to go down and score. And then not just to go down and score, but to take the snap, get his foot stepped on, fall down, try to get up, fall down again, get up and run it in the end zone for the touchdown. You know what I mean? What's amazing, man. What a night, man. What a night. What a night of NFL football. National Football League definitely came through big time last night.
Well, what about them boys, them Texans, man? They went out and put it on Baltimore.
You know what? They put it on them. You know what I mean? Baltimore didn't have the famed quarterback, though. You know what I mean? Jackson wasn't in the backfield. You know, there's a couple of other players wasn't playing. But, I think they said that was our first time beating Jacksonville.
Baltimore, in Baltimore.
I'm sorry, Baltimore in Baltimore. I mean, that was something right there. But let's give it up to them boys too, man. Them Cowboys, and Dak Prescott. The MVP. Oh yeah, man. You know what, man? I just like I say, it's euphoria with me today, man. I'm feeling real good. Seriously.
There's a few other things like in football, and the thing is nowadays, I don't know if something's real or AI ever, because I saw like a video of Jerry Jones. Maybe Jerry Jones. I don't know if it's real or not, but he was like sitting in the owner's box and people were like antagonizing him and he was flicking them off, shooting them the middle finger and stuff. I have no idea if it was real. And I tried to research it. I'm like, is this a real video?
That's probably AI, man. That's probably AI, man.
Well, have you seen
right now Dallas winning? What does he got to be upset about?
Well, Dallas hey, F y'all. We're out here getting it done, man. Have you seen all these AI videos of Tupac in WWF?
No.
You haven't seen this? This has gone viral. They have these AI videos, and it looks like Pac is on WWE Raw back in the 90s, and he calls Biggie out, and they do like a promo. And I'm surprised you haven't seen this. This has been the most viral video.
You know what, man? I've been relaxing. I've been off social media. Especially after last week. I posted a little something, and people went nuts. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I want to debate about, my post too. If anybody out there that want to debate with me about it, I'm definitely willing to debate about the post that I put out there. And it's about, I'm sure everybody know about it. It's about these journalists just writing these stories. And the thing is, one thing about these journalists, and I don't want to put it out there, none of these guys have ever taken one bump. None of these guys have never taken one wrestling class. And if they would like to take a wrestling class, I would say, come to my fantasy camp and see what a 5-hour day consists of and how you make it out of that 5-hour day. Trust me, I promise you're going to be saying, I wish I wouldn't have never thought about doing something like this. That's how you're going to feel about, the fantasy, because it's not a fantasy. It is truly reality in this business. And we talk about, the question was actually, I guess the reference, let's just say that the reference was about, I'm not even going to bring up a wrestler's name. Let's just say that. But someone being in the business for 2 years. And then again, let's just say the wrestler's name, because if I don't, people are going to be saying, he's trying to dodge. We were talking about Jay Cargill running in AEW. And my thing is, I can't remember one Jay Cargill match in AEW as far as who she wrestled, other than I think when she dropped the title. Who was it? Who did she drop the title to?
Was it Statlander?
No, was it? I thought it was somebody else.
It could have been.
I don't think it was Stratton. I thought it was. I can't remember the girl's name. And then to come to WWE and been there 2 years, I want to talk about the 2 years in the business, 2 years of being on an active roster, and how hard it is to go out and perform in front of 20, 30, 50, 100,000 people. Being that young in the business, and someone like Jade, I must say I give her a lot of credit to be able to walk out in front of those people, not having the experience of a Charlotte Flair, not having the experience of a Bailey, Naomi, but still say, man, I'm willing to step in the middle of the frying pan, and boom, cook as good as I possibly can. I give her a lot of credit for that. Now, my question to you, Brad, was name me anybody that's been in the business that short of a time that's working at that level. And my answer was, of course, we could say Goldberg, but then we seried it and we came up with Brock Lesnar, and Kurt Angle was the only two people that had 2 years in and was working at a main event level. And now I want to talk about Kurt Angle as well as Brock Lesnar having that 2 years experience. Think about the guys that Kurt Angle was working with, okay, that was able to go out there and lead him and guide him to the places because trust me, I was one of those guys. I know I was. Think about the people that Brock Lesnar worked with. You know why I say that? because I was one of those guys. Okay, no, I'm serious.
So you're saying if Jade worked with you,
wait a minute. Think about Goldberg and the guys he had to work with. I was one of those guys. Okay, so I know what it's like working with someone that's got that kind of experience and knowing what I have to do to go out there and make that person look like they have been there and done that for many, many years. Someone who has never taken a bump, someone who has never taken a class, someone who has never, worked at a main event level, they're not going to know that. They're not going to know that. So when I snap back with facts. And when we say, I want to put this out there too, WWE wrestlers, TNA wrestlers, as well as AEW wrestlers. Name one wrestler that has snapped back on me and said Booker T is wrong? They're
baffled.
Baffled. Name one. I want to see the one wrestler, because I think the wrestlers in the business know exactly what I'm talking about. And if they've been in the business more than 2 years or 2 years and they're not working at the main event level, I think they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, yes, and I think that some people were conflating it with like a different idea, like, oh, how can Jade be fresh off a AEW run? She's been in, I think one of the articles I read is like, well, she had 66 matches in WWE and she only had 64 in AEW, and it's like, okay, I think that we're missing the overall point. What Booker, I think, and Book, don't let me put words in your mouth, but what I think that you're saying is this has been on the job training for Jade since day one. Her first match is with Shaquille O'Neal and Cody Rhodes, right? Like that's in Red Velvet. That was the first match of her career on television during the pandemic. When you think about her meteoric rise in the industry with the little experience that she was able to get in AEW, because here's the thing, 64 matches or whatever it was, that's not a lot of experience. That's not a lot of experience. 150 matches is barely scratching the surface of trying to put this whole thing together, and to be in a main event position consistently, that is rather impressive for her. And you know what? I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve to be in that position, because she does. But when you have only less than 200 matches under your belt, you're still learning. You're on the job.
Hey, man, we got to take a break. But I'm willing to debate this with anybody, especially an AEW wrestler, a TNA wrestler, or what?
WWE
wrestler. Okay. Tap in right now. We got to take a break. We'll be back in a minute.
All right, guys. Brad Gilmore here from the Hall of Fame, here to keep it 100. Some men walk into a room like regular dudes, but when you've got Blue Chew in your corner, you walk in like it's a main event. I'm talking pyro, lights, smoke machines, a Titantron package, and your theme music blasting. Because Blue Chew just isn't a tablet. It's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting. Like somebody handed your downstairs a gym membership, a hype man, and a Hall of Fame ring all in one.
And let me tell you something right now, man. This ain't just about sex. This is about legacy. This is about making sure your third legacy gets remembered. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex, shipped straight to your door, man, in a discreet package. You don't need to go to the doctor's office, man. You don't need to stand in line at a pharmacy. Just come ready to go.
Look, last time I tried one of Blue Chew's tablets, my hog got so confident it demanded its own Instagram account. It told me Missionary was off-brand and it was only doing extreme positions. I tried Blue Chew and suddenly my hog had a zip code, a driver's license, and voting rights. That's not just performance, that's a lifestyle.
Dog, for me, it felt like my pants were cutting promos on me. Said, we can't hold this man anymore. Somebody call security. It was like my entire lower half turned into a tag team championship, man. And my brother, sometimes it's not even about the action. It's about walking into the room knowing you're holding a steel chair under the table, man, ready to go whenever the bell rings.
Look, this just isn't a supplement. It's an erection resurrection. And the truth is, it's not about what happens in the bedroom. It's about knowing that you're that guy. You want to give her group chat something to talk about? You want to hear your name come up at brunch? Lay it down with Blue Chew's help. And believe me, they'll be talking about how it gets up.
And that's real talk, guys. You only get one career, one championship run, and one chance to etch your name in the history books. Don't leave your legacy to chance. Step into the ring with Blue Chew and become a legend.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, you get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use promo code BOOKER at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Use promo code BOOKER, BOOKER, and head to BlueChew.com for details and safety information.
Want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Now, can you dig that, sucker? Can you dig it? Houston, get ready to rumble with the Hall of Fame on ESPN Radio.
That's right, Booker. We're bringing the heat Tuesday through Friday right here on the Houston airwaves on 97.5 and 92.5.
We've got the exclusive scoop on wrestling, boxing, and everything in between.
Join us for the smackdown of sports talk and don't miss a moment of the action.
The Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that, sucker?
Hey guys, this is Brent Gilmore from the Hall of Fame with Booker T. And you know, we talk a lot about trust on this show. Trust in your team, trust in the process, trust in your opponent. You got to talk about trust in your money. And that's why I use Cash App. I do. I use Cash App. This is true. I use it every single day. It's where I have a card with. It's where I exchange currency with, whether I'm getting a haircut, whether I'm getting, some lawn services, whatever the case might be. I use Cash App because it's fast, it's secure, and it makes handling my money so simple. So whether I'm splitting a dinner bill, splitting money with a friend, checking my balance before a big weekend, it's all right there in the app. So if you download Cash App today and use our referral code, which is SECURE10, for $10 when you sign up. That's SECURE, SECURE, the number 10. Do that. Use that code because Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services are provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards are issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. You visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. So go ahead, hit that download button. Use my code SECURE10 and join the millions of people already using Cash App to make life easier. Trust me, you'll be glad that you did it, okay? SECURE10, SECURE10, SECURE10. And remember, Cash App is a financial services platform. It is not a bank. Banking services are provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards are issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures and use Cash App today. Booker and I use it. You should use it too. Cash App, Cash App, Cash App.
Wow. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. You can hear me, can you?
I can hear you.
All right. Man, that's a hell of a ad there, bro. That's stuff. Legacy. It's all about legacy.
Your third legacy.
But no, man, we back and we just talking, just chopping up, like I said, showdown. It's going to be going down later tonight, TNA versus NXT. And I'm very, very interested in how this thing's going to play out tonight. I've been so invested in the TNA NXT crossover that they've been doing. It's been so good for both sides to see so many different guys get a come up. Just like seeing Matt Cardona, back in the building.
Yeah.
A guy who I really thought, I don't know if he got it. I don't know, if Matt Cardona, he might have got a raw deal his first time around. You know what I mean? Then I'd love to see Matt Cardona get another shot at WWE and doing his thing. And, and then seeing, guys like Moose, it's a guy who I had talked about for, quite some time. And I was just like, man, I wish this guy can get a shot. I'm hoping, we can, figure out how we can get him in there somehow. And now with this crossover, there again, TNA president, he's doing, Carlos Silva, he's doing a hell of a job. Giving these guys opportunity more than anything to go out there and live that ultimate dream and not holding these guys back and not letting these guys live out that ultimate dream. I remember being a young wrestler myself, and my brother and I, we was wrestling at this little spot, and we was only making like $25, a match, a show. And we were just getting started, though. I mean, it wasn't about the money or anything like that. We got a chance to go down to Global in Dallas, and they had TV. They were paying $100 a week, and we went down and got a tryout, and we came back, and one of the guys found out about it, who ran the show, that $25 show, and he goes, "Yeah, I heard you guys went down there to Global, huh?" He goes, "Yeah, we went down to the Global," and he goes, "I just want to let you know, the money is gone. Okay, so ain't no use to going down there." So I appreciate seeing someone with talent and letting that person shine. I really, really appreciate that, because that's what reality of wrestling is all about. We're not like we don't try to hoard talent or anything like that. If they're good, we want to try to get them seen, and hopefully we get them to the next level, like our man Eli Knight, who's going to be in action on Saturday night at the Rise of Wrestling Royalty. Oh yes, man. And that's what it's all about, letting these guys go out there and shine.
Yeah, man. And I'm always excited for Reality Wrestling Platinum. Again, you have the Reality Wrestling champion, Danny Limelight, who's going to be in the building. Will All Day and Gaspar Hernandez are taking on one another to determine the number one contender for the Reality Wrestling Championship. Ryan Davison still looming large in the background. Zilla Fatu still looming large in the background. You never know exactly what's going to happen at the Reality of Wrestling. And I also heard this, because I want to give a big shout out to our guy, AJ Francis, Dalla Francis. He put out his album this past week, I believe on October 3rd. And you know what? We were talking about this before. He's such a great self-promoter. And I was watching him on TNA, and he had on that Texans jacket. He was like, "And the Texans gave this to me while I was standing on the sidelines of Monday Night Football." And he's such a great self-promoter. I believe you're on the album. Bun B's on the album. I actually have a little cameo on there as well. So everyone go check that out. But AJ, I heard, is going to be giving an open challenge on Saturday at Platinum for his Reality Wrestling Glory Championship.
Yeah, man. It's big. It's going to be big. I'm just wondering who's going to answer that challenge more than anything, because, AJ is always a man with a master plan. He's always cooking up some kind of idea or something, so I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to show up. But myself personally, it's busy. I'm busy. Like I say, Showdown going down tonight. I'm so invested in our side coming out on top. And some say, why be biased? Why not be biased? I was just asked a question just yesterday. I was doing an interview. It's going to be coming out. You probably hear about it. We were talking about Roxanne Perez, and the guy goes, am I biased, towards Roxanne Perez? I go, of course I am. Why wouldn't I be?
I have a silly question.
I'm like, of course she's as good as anybody in the world right now. Of course she can work with any woman right now in the world. She proved that with Io. I mean, if you can go out there and work with Io, and then go out there and I'm talking about not just keep up, but definitely show the world how good you really are. You can do it with anybody in the world. So my thing is, of course I'm going to be biased. Of course, all the time. The match I'm looking for more than anything is talk about giving somebody a little bit of shine, a little bit of a rub. Richard Holiday, Cap Jones. Okay. Richard Holiday is a guy who's been out there, and he's had opportunities before, but I think Richard Holiday is a guy who I think if you put him in the right position, he can go out there and shine. I think Richard Holiday, he knows the clock is ticking. He's talented, all right? And he's going to have a chance to go out there against Cap Jones, who's one of the rising and up-and-coming stars of professional wrestling today, a guy who I definitely see making it, who I definitely see 100% making it to that next level. Richard Holiday is going to get a chance to go out there and see it, let the world see exactly what he's all about inside the middle of that square circle. I ain't talking about no dirt, grimy matches or anything, junk matches or anything like that. All right. All right. I'm talking about going out there and showing me. That might get picked up. Go out there and showing me what he's all about in the middle of that square. I know the world want to see it. I know the wrestling world. Let's just say that the wrestling world want to see exactly what Richard Holiday is all about. He's going to have a chance to do it with Cap Jones.
I love Cap Jones, man. I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of people in the ID program, or even people formerly in the ID program, who I got a lot of love for. Jordan Oasis, by the way, won his slap debut. I don't know if you saw his competition in Power Slap, but Jordan Oasis was in Power Slap and won. I was gonna say single-handedly, but I guess that goes without saying. But did a great job. But I will tell you, the two people, and this is respect to everybody, but the two people who I've seen come through who, man, they just look like they've got everything. One on the men's side, one on the women's side is Cap Jones and Zeta Steele. Man, I love both of those people. I mean, great talents. And I'm like you. I see them going on to the WWE and actually turn that ID deal into a full-time contract.
Hey, bro, that ID program is really, really something. I wish I had a chance to be a part of something like that when I was coming up. But the thing is, you got to be able to cash in on it. You got to be able to take advantage of that program. We've seen guys that have gotten cut from the ID program, so it's not a guaranteed thing or anything like that. It's the initiation. It's that springboard I always talked about when I was getting into the business, man, and just getting that springboard, and hopefully somebody see you, after you get that shot. Right now, Cap Jones and Zeta Steele, she has something. She definitely has something. And I challenged Zeta Steele. I said, man, of course, people want to see you for your antics, but I want to see exactly what you're all about in the middle of the ring. I want to see exactly what kind of storyteller you are. I say, people are doubting you. You know that, don't you? And I swear to God, man, she went out there and showed me exactly what she was all about. And I go, wow, man, that's what it's all about. Trying to push these young talent to the brink, to their limit. I remember this one kid coming into wrestling school, and we were going through a training session, and I told him to take a bump. He took a bump, and I told him to nip up. And he goes, I've never done that before. I said, let's just try it. And bang, he done it the first time he ever tried it. You know what I mean? So you never know what you can do sometime until somebody else bring it out of you. You know what I mean? So hopefully Saturday night, guys, the rise to wrestling royalty. We're going to be able to bring it out a whole lot of those young guys.
Can we go back just for a second to the conversation we were having in the first segment about Jade?
Yeah.
Just in the sense of, I want to just make sure that we're clear on this.
Wait, I tell you what. We got to take a quick break.
Okay, let's do that.
Then we'll come back and speak on it. You know what? Let's talk about it. Let's do it another way. What do you want to talk about? Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back.
Man, I got to tell you, BT, I never thought I'd care this much about a wallet, but Ridge Wallet has completely changed the game for me. Before this, I was carrying around that old school leather wallet. It was falling apart. It was bulky and jammed from receipts from 1996. Even though I was only 4 years old, it looked like I had a cheeseburger in my back pocket. But with Ridge, it's sleek, it's strong. It holds up to 12 cards plus cash, and it's made from premium materials. I'm talking aluminum, or as my folks across the pond say, aluminium, carbon fiber, titanium. This thing is like the superhero of wallets. And y'all know I love my gear. I gotta be sharp, I gotta be clean. Ain't nobody dope as me. I'm just so fresh. So yeah, I'm so fresh and so clean. And I also need to be functional. So this is what is huge for me. This wallet has RFID blocking tech, so nobody's stealing your info while you're walking down the street. That's peace of mind. And check this out. Mine is made of carbon fiber, but they have 50 colors and styles to choose from. It's the last wallet you'll ever need. And with Ridge's lifetime warranty, it's not just hype, it's real.
Right now, Ridge is running their huge Memorial Day sale. You can get up to 40% off at ridge.com/booker. That's ridge.com/booker. Don't miss their biggest sale of the year. And when they ask how you heard about them, make sure you tell them you heard them right here on the Hall of Fame podcast with Brad Gilmore and Booker T. Hey, and don't forget, support the show and level up, baby.
You know, life always doesn't wait for a payday. There's been times where I needed some gas money, groceries, or even grab some last-minute tickets for a big night out, and payday, it was still days away. That's why I love talking about the game-changing app like EarnIn. EarnIn is the app that lets you access your pay your way as you earn it, and up to $150 a day with a maximum of $750 between checks. There's no interest, there's no credit checks, there's no mandatory fees. It's not a loan. This is your money. Just download the EarnIn app, add in your work info, and you can start accessing your pay right away. You can even leave an optional tip to help support the app for everybody. Then, any money you access plus any tip is simply paid back from your next paycheck. So imagine this. Your daughter's school shoes are on sale, but payday's not until Friday. Well, with EarnIn, you don't have to wait. Or maybe you got a surprise dinner plan with someone special. Don't put it off. That's the kind of financial momentum that EarnIn gives you. Millions of people are using it. I wish I had EarnIn back in the day when I first started it out, especially when you're trying to balance bills, gigs, and unexpected stuff like a vet bill or even car repairs. So download EarnIn today. That's EARNIN in the Google Play or Apple App Store. And when you do, type in Hall of Fame under podcast when you sign up. That's Hall of Fame under podcast. It really helps the show and helps you get paid when you need it most. EarnIn is a financial technology company. It's not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days. Expedited transfers are available for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. Available in select states. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details. Make EarnIn a part of your financial routine and join over 4 million people using it to turn any day into payday. It's your money. Take control of it with EarnIn.
Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Just chopping it up here inside the Hall of Fame. Again, I want to thank you guys for stepping inside, getting your champagne wishes, caviar dreams. But Brad, you wanted to reiterate on something?
Well, I mean, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the Jade thing. And this is what I really wanted to say was 130 matches. Like, that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, especially to be learning, you know, like to put in perspective, right? Guys used to wrestle 300 days a year, right? So in 1 year, you have 300 matches. This is Jade's 4th, 5th year in the company, in the industry in general. You see what I'm saying? Like, most people at this time have 1,000 matches or more. She's at under 150 matches, and you're expecting her to have already mastered it. And the other thing is, yes, she was at WrestleMania 40 and 41. Yes, she's just fresh off her AEW run. I don't understand why people don't think that.
Look here. I want to know who are those baffled WWE, TNA, and AEW wrestlers are. That's right. I want to look here. I'm willing to talk and challenge and debate with any of those guys. And when an article get written about me and wrestlers, guys that are my peers, former peers, and then I would still say peers. I mean, I don't look at myself above or beyond, below any of the guys that's in the business today or in the business guys, you know, in the past or future. None of that. I'm serious. I feel like we're all on the same level. And my thing is, I respect the young guys because I'm looking at, just like, say, for instance, a company like AEW, and I don't see anybody over there that's working in the main event that's been in the business 2 years or 3 years. Those guys, the young bucks, those guys got time in. You know, the Kenny Omegas, Edge, you know what I mean? Christian. Those guys got
Cope.
I'm sorry. Those guys got Most of those guys over there on that roster got years of experience in this business. So when someone questions me, I'm going to look for your credentials first and foremost. And I understand when someone who's never been in the business, and they can look at 2 years in the business and think that's a really, really long time. But one of my peers that's been in the business, I think they know what 2 years is. So I'm willing to talk, debate with anyone that's in this business to debate with me about what 2 years is, because I know at 2 years in the business what I knew, which was very, very little. All right, very, very little. One of my first matches, after when I got in the business, it was with a guy named Dusty Wolf. Okay, all right. He was a guy who had did nothing but jobs on television. He had never won a match on television. Okay, but I had been watching Dusty Wolf for many, many, many years on television. And when I had a chance to wrestle Dusty Wolf, you know what I said to him, Brad? You know
What's that? What's that?
I said, Mr. Wolf, I say, if you don't mind, I've watched you work with everybody from, Savage to Steamboat, everybody on television. You know what I mean? And I say, I know you know a whole lot more than I do. I say, I would appreciate it if you could lead me and guide me through this match. And I was going over. I was winning the match. And he said, no problem, kid. I'll go out there and do that for you. And I learned so much in that match listening to Dusty Wolf. I appreciate Dusty Wolf. Wherever you are out there, Dusty, I appreciate the knowledge that you gave me, all right, to actually hopefully give to some other young guy, one day, which I know I did. You know what I mean? So that's what, being in the business is at that stage. If you ain't got your ears open learning from someone like a Dusty Wolf, you're going to be swimming upstream.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, I can almost guarantee you that her first 2 years, Jay's first 2 years, she didn't work with anyone like Dusty Wolf.
Well, no, I mean, and to me, the AW women's roster has a lot of great talent on there, but when you look at experienced talent that you can learn to the next level from, there weren't a whole lot. And Jay,
wait a minute, that's the wing over here. Jade was on the wing over here.
And I was going to say, with Jade specifically, she was booked in a similar way as a Bill Goldberg or what have you. It's like, hey, we want you to go in there, smash her again, pin her real quick, 1, 2, 3, let's get out of here. And I understand a lot of that was to protect her and on-the-job training, all those things that we've already talked about. And I think Jade is a mega star. I really do. I think she's a mega star. But Book, like, I remember you saying you were in WCW for what, 7 years, 8 years?
9.
9 years. Okay, 9 years. You were in 91. So when you go into WWF at the time, you're already a 10-year vet in the business, right?
Four-time world champ.
4-time world champion. And you said on this very show and in your book and in your documentary that you were still learning in WWE. And I think you said one time you and Taker were in your 40s and you were talking to each other and go, why did it take us so long to figure this out? Because you're always learning. So to have the expectation of somebody of under 150 matches and under 4 years of the business to not make mistakes or what have you is ridiculous. And she is coming off of AEW run. That's a factual statement.
That's why I question, people reading that stuff and taking it and believing in it in any form or fashion. A story like that, because fresh off for me means, not a whole lot of time, to prepare and learn the craft to the point to where you know it like the back of your hand, like Taker and I was in our 40s.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I mean. Or like coming from WCW, 4-time world champion, and Jack Lanza telling me, hey, man, you just missed a moment. Tomorrow do it this way. And the next day I go out there and do it the way he said it, and I get a standing ovation. I'm 10 years in. Years in, and I go, why did I not know that? Why did I not know that? But that's like a boxer. You're never going to see the trainer of the boxer the trainer is younger than the boxer. The trainer is always going to be much older. The trainer is always going to be much wiser because the trainer can see things from the outside that fighter cannot see from the inside. He can tell him exactly what he needs to do when he comes back to that corner, just because of the knowledge and the experience, the repetitiveness, the over and over, time that he has done that craft and been in those positions, those awkward, those precarious positions. So when I hear people there again that don't know make comments, I could take it, and brush it off and say, well, they just don't know. But when I hear someone who should know, that's when I want to question it. That's why I want to talk to some of these WWE, AEW, and TNA wrestlers about this, because I want to drop some knowledge on those guys if they don't know what 2 years in the business is. Okay, I know the guys who's never been in the business. They don't know. All right. I give them a pass, all right? but the guys, the WWE, the TNA, the AEW wrestlers, baffled, I want to talk to them.
Yeah, well, we'll find some baffled performance. If you are suffering from being baffled by Booker T's comments and you're a professional wrestler on a television company, write us in. Give us a tweet or a DM or what have you.
Not just people, the wrestlers. We want only real
wrestlers.
Just wrestlers.
Wrestlers.
I don't care if they're independent wrestlers.
Baffled is such a strong word. It's such I don't think I've ever been baffled in my life.
Well, baffled, it would be much more than 2 years in this business, because the thing is, I've had students, that's been, in my school, like sometimes 3-4 years, and they just can't pick it up. It's just so hard for them to pick it up. There again, fantasy camp is 5 hours. We teach about 5 moves. And if we got 30 guys there, 5 hours to teach 5 moves. And do they really learn it? Probably not. Maybe a couple of them do.
Yeah.
But it's such a hard thing for someone who's never done it to speak on it. That's like telling someone that's got 2 years of acting experience, they should be working at the same level Denzel Washington should be working at.
Right. And that's ridiculous.
I mean, come on. Do that make any sense?
No.
Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame getting knowledge today. All right? We'll be back in a minute. Hey, what's up, Nashville? It's your man, Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Wake up, man, and get in the ring with the Hall of Fame.
Every Saturday morning, book at 8 a.m. We're coming to you live on 102.5 The Game, Nashville's home for sports talk. We've got the knockout conversations, the legends, and all the sports insight that you crave.
So check out Booker T and Brad Gilmore every Saturday morning on 102.5 The Game. Now, can you dig it? Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. No, we got a couple of super chatters, but what you want to go? I know you had something.
Well, I wanted to get your reaction to this AI video that I was telling you about of Tupac. I wanted to show this to you, and you tell me what you think and how. I don't know if it's weird for you to see what AI can do, because now the video AI is getting to be really, really strong. So here, this is it. You haven't seen this? This is Pac walking down the WWE ramp, slapping 5, cutting a promo in the ring. Here comes Biggie. I mean, it's kind of insane, isn't it?
Yeah, it is crazy.
Because it looks real in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I was looking at an AI video of Tupac the other day, and it was him at his age now.
Weird, huh?
Yeah, it was weird, man. I was like, wow, man, it's so freaking weird. It's just crazy, what we are today. Yeah.
We do have a few super chats we can get to here on our final segment. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you send them in here to the Hall of Fame, and myself and Booker T will elaborate on whatever topic you send in. This first one is from D'Angelo Brown. D'Angelo Brown says, in an interview with Sports Illustrated, The Rock said some of his favorite opponents were Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, and Booker T, calling them all incredible athletes. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've heard this over the years from Rock about y'all's matches. Y'all didn't work a lot, but apparently you had a pretty big impression on him.
It's pretty cool though, man, because Rock and I, we never had any real relationship or anything like that. We've never never broke bread or anything, or went out and partied or hung out or anything like that. But when I came to WWE, I was just all about going out there and getting the work done. I think Rock respect me more for being a businessman and coming in there and knowing what my job was and going out there and doing that job to the best of my ability. I really didn't. I always talk about that, the time I had with him, and I really didn't know how good, some of the stuff was good, and some of the stuff was really, really funny, especially some of the stuff that we did off television, when the camera stopped rolling on the house show. We did a lot of stupid stuff, and maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's those times right there is what Rock remember, but my times on television, I remember working with Rock. I was very, very tense. I was very, very anxious, butterflies, I don't know, high pressure situation, and being in those moments right there. And, man, I can only imagine being 2 years in going into a situation like that. No way, bro. No freaking way. But but I always I talk about, like, with my students, know what your job is, know what the details are, when you're in certain matches. And I was coming into the company, and I was working with one of their top guys. And one thing, you don't want to hurt the guy. It's the one thing you're thinking about. But the one thing also is you're thinking about not trying to make mistakes. We talk about mistakes in this business. The fans don't mind if you take your time and get it right. They do mind if you rush it and mess it up. You know what I mean? So I was always thinking about going out there and being precise and knowing exactly what my job was. So that way, I guess that's the reason I don't remember a lot of that stuff when I was working with The Rock, because I was just totally just in work mode. Yeah.
No, definitely. And I remember a couple of years ago at the Houston Roughneck game, which, by the way, now we're the Houston Gamblers. They've changed the name.
Oh,
back to the Gamblers.
Back to the game. All right. That's cool.
Yeah. I like the Roughnecks, but I like the Gamblers too. So I'm not mad at it. And I think the UFL announced a few new places. I think Orlando's getting a team, actually, in the UFL. But I remember
Roughnecks, you know what I mean? That's why they changed it.
I don't know. I really don't know.
It's got to do something with social media. Somebody said something.
Yeah, maybe. Why they got to be Roughnecks? Why can't they be oil workers?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
It might be, but now, Gambler's gonna get. We're gonna get next with Gambler. Why can't they be professional money wagerers? Gambler carries such a negative connotation, and it doesn't.
Anonymous.
Oh man, the Gamblers are back. But I remember being sidelined and talking with The Rock. And that was the thing. But it's interesting that the article, and I haven't seen the Sports Illustrated article that D'Angelo was referring to, but he said, like, you were one of the most athletic people. And I remember I had the conversation with The Rock of, he was like, what did Booker play in school? Did he play like football or something? I said, no, he was actually a drum major. And I remember his Danny Garcia, who's his first wife and business partner, was like, I was a drum major. Booker was a drum major? What? I remember us laughing about that, because you did have this natural athleticism that obviously compared to, think about who The Rock just compared you to in that trio there of talking about all being great athletes. It's you, an Olympic gold medalist, and a UFC heavyweight champion.
Hey, man. Sometimes, I think, I don't know what it is about me, and a lot of people kind of like not think about my wrestling career, my wrestling ability, and how good I really was in the ring. I felt like I was like on a Denzel Washington level as far as wrestling goes. I felt like I could whatever role you give me, I was going to try to go out there and enhance that role. And the thing is, I know a lot of people don't think that way about me. Well, a lot of people, and it's just because they have their favorites, as well as a lot of people are just negative. But you don't slip on a banana peel and win 35 championships in this business. You don't slip on a banana peel, being the most decorated champion in wrestling history. You don't slip on a banana peel, closing WCW down as double champion. That kind of stuff just don't happen for the average person in this business. It don't just happen to people. Well, we like them. Let's just do it. That don't happen, guys. Okay, it doesn't. You got to be literally on top of your game, man. And if I can't say this once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Preparation is the only luck you're ever going to have. I was always prepared. I'm talking about in the ring, out of the ring. I always showed up prepared to go out and perform at the highest level, in the ring, out of the ring. I'm talking about if I'm, doing an own sale, I might be asleep five minutes before. But when I step out the car to go get ready to do the job, I'm going to be wide awake and everybody's going to be like, wow. And when I finish it, I'm going to go right back to sleep. It's always about being Johnny on the spot. And that's what I've tried to instill in, young people that I mentor. And I'm still instilling in myself because I'm at work right now and I'm getting ready to go to work right after this.
It's what we do, right? It's what we do.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah.
So it's just, it's one of those things. But you know what? I always appreciate when it comes to your wrestling career, when the artisans and the greatest of all time, all of them always seem to give you the most props when they talk about you, which is probably like a strange feeling for you at times.
No, it's not. It's not strange at all, because all my peers, I went out there and I tried to make them all look good.
Right.
That's what this business is about. Like I said, your losses, even if I'm losing to somebody, my losses had to be just as good or better than my wins. You're not going to hear not one of my peers, other than who's that kid that broke his nose?
Paul London? No,
Paul London.
Yeah.
He had some negative stuff to say about me. He said I was a little reckless, but I wasn't reckless. I was snug. You know what I mean? I was stiff. Stone Cold Steve Austin, he even said that. I cracked him. And you know what he did? He cracked me back. You know what I'm saying? That's just part of the game. But nah, man. All those guys I work with, I appreciated all of those guys, going out in the ring and us being able to do our thing and have that moment. But it was never ever just about me in the ring. It was about us and what we was creating.
Yeah, so I always love hearing stuff like that. So D'Angelo, if you could send me that link, I'd like to check out that interview. I haven't seen that, so send that to me on Twitter or Instagram. I'd like to read that or see that video. He also has another one that says, what's your guys' thoughts on Santos Escobar letting his contract expire last night?
Hey, man, you know what? I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Honestly, I do. Sometimes, man, being in the WWE, and I think he's been there, 6 years?
Yeah, at least.
That's 6 years, sometimes, away from your life. I know we got to get out of here in a second, but Jake the Snakes Roberts said it on not Dark Side of the Ring, Beyond the Mat. He said, when you sign that WWE contract, that means you are obligated to work every day. And I say that because when I signed my contract with WWE back in the early 2000s, and one day, early 2001, right? And 2005, I was like, man, well, actually, let's just say this. I signed the contract in 2001. And then one day I wanted to go and get on my boat and go take it out. But I had to go get it registered. It was 2005. Okay, when I went to go get it registered, it had been sitting that long. Okay. I hadn't been on my boat one time in all those years, and I didn't even realize it because I had been working. I was on the road. So to be able to take a step out of it, I understand totally, because at the top of my career in WWE as King Booker, I walked away from it. You know what I mean? Just because I was tired and it was taxing being away from the family. So I get, Santos Escobar, he's going to always be able to make money in this business. So leaving WWE, I don't think it's going to hurt that guy at all. So big ups to Santos for taking a step back.
Definitely best of luck to Santos Escobar. And before we wrap up, I found the video. So should we listen to real quick what The Rock had to say exactly?
Yeah.
Might as well, right?
No other way I'm going to beat him.
Yes.
No other way I'm going to beat him.
I felt that when you talk about his gears, like there's guys who I wrestled with and this is why I loved wrestling guys who were just insane athletes who had a pedigree at other things.
Yeah.
And that was always Kurt Angle, insane athlete, as you know, pedigree in wrestling, gold medal at the Olympics.
Yep.
Wins the gold medal with a broken neck. I mean, it's just wild. Brock Lesnar was the same.
Yep.
Just incredible pedigree athlete. You could go anywhere in the ring with him. And you know who else was an amazing athlete? Was Booker T, who I love.
Oh my
wrestling.
God, yeah.
Amazing athlete.
Yeah.
Just these guys who are athletic guys, which makes me think, had you not become.
There we go. Okay. Awesome. Yeah.
Hey man, see, he did that as soon as he said it. You know what I mean? Because it's about them hands. You can tell by the way a man walk. You know what I mean? If he can handle himself, and that's one thing about me, man. I always could handle myself. I always loved the art of pugilism. Muhammad Ali was my favorite. You know what I mean? Being able to parry, being able to jab and parry. So for me, I wasn't, a Kurt Angle or anything like that. I wasn't a Brock Lesnar, but I always felt like if I would have went in any of those, any of those ways, like just say for instance, wrestling, basketball, football, I felt like I would have been a really, really good athlete. I really do. You know what I mean? But I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I found wrestling. I'm at the age of 25, and man, it's been so good to me. I love it.
Yeah, man, it's just always awesome to hear these stories. And by the way, I do recommend people see the Smashing Machine for The Rock's performance. If nothing else, it was pretty cool to see him really try to take a big swing. That's a big swing. And I know the film didn't perform super well at the box office, and people are making a big deal out of it. But this wasn't a box office movie for The Rock. This is a real story about a real guy who's still walking around and was a pioneer for the sport of MMA. So I definitely suggest everybody go check it out. A24 has been doing a lot of wrestling and MMA stuff lately, that film studio. So who knows? Maybe they'll have another spotlight on a certain performer one day.
Hey man, you never know. You never know. But no, we got to get up out of here, man.
We do.
I got to get ready for showdown. But I want to thank all of you guys for stepping inside the Hall of Fame today, getting your champagne, wishes, caviar, dreams. Brad, for all the heavy lifting. And until next time, guys, like I always say, peace. We love you. Boom. We out.
Well, she is joining me right now to talk about WrestleMania 42 returning to Las Vegas. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. She is one of the most recognizable faces in all of the WWE. The WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton, joins us. Tiffany, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate the time. Let's dive right into WrestleMania because I was there, WrestleMania 41. I got to see you and Charlotte tear the house down and have this incredible entrance that you did. And successfully go out there and prove to the world why you are where you are. How does that stage actually feel? Does it feel like the next level? Does it feel bigger than life itself?
Oh yeah. I felt like that whole weekend I was so nervous. I've never been in front of a crowd over than I think 80K. So I believe there was around like 100K there. So that was just so nervous and nerve-wracking in itself. But I checked off a goal that weekend. I wrestled Charlotte Flair. on the grandest stage of them all, and it was in Las Vegas. I felt like that was the perfect first ever WrestleMania. It was the perfect spot to hold a WrestleMania, and I'm super excited to go back.
You're going back again, and I think that you're right. Las Vegas, that whole week felt like something special was going on. I mean, it was the biggest WrestleMania I'd ever personally attended, and your entrance was one of the best entrances, I think, in WrestleMania history. I'll be honest with you. It was such an awesome idea and concept. Have you started thinking about what your Mania 42 entrance would be?
I have not thought about that, but I don't think there's any way I can top that entrance. That was something that I kind of had been dreaming about since even before like I got into WWE. I had pitched the idea back in NXT, but they kind of told me like, oh, we don't know because of trademarking and stuff like that. And then I think Mattel had reached out to Triple H and had proposed the idea, and Triple H asked me if I was down for that, and of course I said yes. And I don't think it would have been possible without Triple H and Mattel. And I'm so grateful it came to life, and I felt like it was better than what I was even expecting it to look like. So hopefully I can top that one day.
Yeah, it was so impressive. The production of it, everything was executed amazingly in that entrance. You talk about being at NXT in Orlando and working with Triple H down there, obviously Shawn Michaels. You went back to NXT recently. You were on television. What did it feel like to be back at the Performance Center after, touring the world, being at WrestleMania? Did it feel like a high school reunion, or what was the vibe there for you?
I think high school reunion would be the perfect way to describe that. It was so fun being back in NXT, getting to see Sean, getting to see some of the people that I trained with and that I got signed with, and stuff like that. And NXT is like kind of like my home. It's where I learned wrestling. It's where I learned, everything that I know now. So to go back and be able to be in front of that crowd and have them accept me and stuff like that. It was surreal, and it was just it was a good day. And then unfortunately I didn't get to wrestle the following week, but it was a fun little promo and time that I got to go back to NXT.
We know being at NXT, obviously one of the lead voices there, Booker T. I've worked with Booker now for 12 years or so, and he's such a dynamic character. But when he was the king of SmackDown and he was the world champion, he was talking about how being the world champion, there's so much responsibility that comes with it, not just in the ring and working at that level, but the promo. You're in the first segment, you're in the middle segment, you're doing the on sales, the press tours like you are now. How does it feel to actually have to shoulder all of that responsibility?
So I fully expected that you have to be a very well-rounded superstar in order to hold the title one day. You're basically the face of the company. You've got to do the media tours, like you said. You've got to do the morning shows. You've got to do the backstages, the in-ring promos, the matches, and stuff like that. So I fully expected all the responsibility going into this, and I'm super grateful to be where I'm at, especially being kind of new to wrestling and kind of new to my, main roster career. So I'm blessed to be here, and I'm loving every part of it.
Well, obviously this week you're going to have a big match on SmackDown coming off of WrestlePalooza, going into this big SmackDown triple threat. Jade Cargill and you, I love the matchup between y'all. I mean, what you did at SummerSlam and then continuing the feud, both incredible athletes in different aspects, of course. How is it to work with Jade?
Obviously, you look at Jade and you immediately think like, whoa, who is this girl? She looks amazing. She's beautiful. And I actually really have enjoyed our last two matches. I thought our last match that we had, I'm really proud of that. I thought that match was super amazing. Obviously, it ended in a DQ, but this Friday, it's me, Nia Jax, and Jade all in the ring. I've beaten all of them individually. So I'm excited to see kind of how we all match up together in one ring. And I'm going into this confident because, like I said, I've already beat both of them one-on-one. So I have no doubt that I'm going to pull out the win.
All right, my last question for you. WrestleMania 42, of course, coming to Las Vegas. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. A lot of people you could potentially match up with at WrestleMania this year. One I would like to see, I'd like to see a Tiffany Stratton and Nikki Bella feud. How would you think about Tiffany versus Nikki?
Ooh, I would absolutely love that. I think that would be iconic. It'd be like a generation versus generation match. So yeah, let's manifest that. Nikki Bella, if you're listening, me versus you at WrestleMania 42.
I love it. I love it. Well, Tiffany, congratulations on all your success. Really appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey guys, Brad Gilmore here. Want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, Walker Texas Lawyer. If you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, whether that be a car, truck, motorcycle accident, or some kind of other issue, hit up Walker Texas Lawyer at 713-552-1117 or walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey,
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg,
Hey, how are you?
the legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television,
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
comedy,
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad, good morning to you. How are you?
George Lopez joins us right now. George, how are you doing, sir?
Good morning.
music,
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk, you me funny lad.
Megan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Chloe Bailey joins us. I appreciate the time.
Appreciate you.
and more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Awesome. Well, hey, Mark Kerr, Brad Gilmore from ESPN Radio and The Collection. So great to talk to you. Congratulations on getting this story out there.
I appreciate that, Brad. Thank you for having me. Thank
Obviously, I've been a fan of MMA for at least 20 years now, watching the sport and watching it evolve and grow. And the name Mark Kerr rings true to a long-time fan such as myself. But I know that this doc came out a long time ago, and obviously the movie started around, 2019? You started talking to The Rock.
2019, it started, that was the grumbling, and then, I say lightly, the whole world fell apart during the pandemic, and nobody knew what anything would look like coming out of it. And then the writer's strike, and it was like there was all these hurdles, and it was like I let it go. The running joke I tell people, I go, I had Dwayne Johnson's cell phone number for 4 years. I didn't text it or call it once. I go, that's letting it go. That was in my book, going, the world has it, the universe has it. If it gets made, it gets made.
And then it finally does happen now, these 6 years later. And I know you've been doing media like crazy. You've been on Rogan. You've been on The Tonight Show. You've been everywhere, seemingly. Venice. What has this media tour been like for you to have to not only just talk about the movie and the process of it, but also sharing more of your story?
Last night after Fallon, I got a chance to just talk with Dwayne for a little bit, and just realizing, I think, I was living my life not knowing that I needed this little piece, like this thing, this hole in me I didn't know I had, right? And like literally going, wow, I think back at the Hall of Fame, that hole was filled in. It was that validation of even though my career was this, I moved mixed martial arts this much further along, but it needed that little bit in order to get to where it is now. So it was pivotal that this little part help build what it is today.
Well, because they refer to you as a pioneer. People call you a legend. But in the UFC, you're a UFC pioneer wing. What does that title mean to you, to be a pioneer of the sport that now just got $8 billion, for its media rights?
And that's crazy, So it's one of those things where it's like, pioneer for me, like stepping in, doing what I did, not having any freaking clue really what it was. But knowing, once I did it, I go, oh, wow, this is actually cool. Because for me, it was crushing all these stereotypes. I grew up with 10th degree black belt, toughest guy in the world. No, not really. Guy 6'9", 400 pounds, not a chance, right? So it crushed all these stereotypes. I was out there crushing these stereotypes, going like, jiu-jitsu is not the best. Watch, I'm a wrestler and I can handle jiu-jitsu, guys. Or a boxer, I can take him too. Kickbox. So it was one of those where for me, it was like validating, like, there's more to this than everybody thinks.
Well, especially and I have to get into a couple MMA questions with you because especially
Sure.
about wrestling. Wrestling is the foundation to me of mixed martial arts. If you don't have wrestling, you're not going to make it far in this game whatsoever. And I know for you coming up, you were wrestling guys like Kurt Angle. Y'all had a great rivalry
Oh
with one
yeah,
another.
man. Yeah.
And Kurt, who went on to do pro wrestling, obviously, still though a legitimate guy. People
Oh,
cannot talk enough about how great he was. There's even circles in wrestling circles. There's a story where he and Brock Lesnar had a real shoot match one time at a WWE event, and Kurt handled him. I mean, that's how great Kurt was.
unbelievable. Like I talked to him a lot. I talked about him a lot on Rogan because it's one of those where 95, 96. So I beat him 92, 93, 94, 95, 96. He beat me, made his Olympics, blah, blah, blah. So he found a gear I never knew existed. Like as a competitor during wrestling, like after the 95 freestyle nationals, he beat me and I'm like, what the, where did that come from? Like he just had this intensity and gear that I'm like, okay, something is completely different. Not being able to put finger on it, he just found a different way to go at it and to train cardiovascularly, which was like wow,
Insane. He's an insane human being as far as
incredible,
an animal
incredible.
in the squared circle. But let me ask you, because he went to the wrestling route, you
Yeah.
went to MMA and helped pioneer that sport. Was that ever an idea for you to like, hey, let me go over and do some pro wrestling?
You know what? I had a conversation with Shane McMahon. I had a conversation with JR. They were in Phoenix. A friend of mine introduced us, and they gave me this just lowdown of like, this is, you would go through developmental. You would have to develop a persona character. We'd have to come up with a storyline. We'd have to do this, this, and this. But if you do make it, the money on the other side of it is fantastic. And I go, what's the process? A couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it. I can't take that big a pay cut. Can't take that big a pay cut. So,
Especially like in your athletic prime,
oh
at that
yeah,
time,
yeah.
that window is short, especially for a fighter.
Oh gosh, man. I say all the time, like I had X amount of fights in me. I just didn't know what that was. That was it. I had X. Every fighter has X in them. They just don't know if it's 10. They don't know if it's 50, but they have X. So every time they get in the ring, they better be ready, they better be prepared, and they better try to make as much money as they can, because that could be X. That could be their last one. I just didn't know. So it's like, okay, no, I thank you, but no thank you to pro wrestling.
So in the movie where it opens up and you're in your first fight in Brazil,
Hmm.
and you go and you take the guy down, you win in grand fashion, like only you
Yeah.
can, and really live up to that smashing machine
Yeah.
moniker.
Yeah.
And then later on, you're in a doctor's office waiting room, or your character is, and you have the
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
conversation with the woman and her young child, and she asks you, "Do you hate those guys when you go out there and fight them?" And Dwayne, I keep saying you because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really
I know.
it's really
Dwayne.
like this.
Oh, believe me, it's on set. They kept referring to me in the third person. We'd go in and they go, well, this is Mark's house and Mark had this. And I go, I'm right here. I'm like, this was my house. I'm not like, and then we go, oh, sorry. And like every single time it would happen, it would be like a running joke every time I was on set,
Well, I
so
mean, it's the transformation's pretty incredible
incredible.
when you see Dwayne appear on the screen for the first time and your voice and the mannerisms are down. And you know what? I was going to ask you a different question, but let me jump into this. Even certain words that he would use in his vernacular seem so real to who you are. Even when he would say like his tummy hurt or things like that nature. Were were those notes that you would give to Safdie and Dwayne, like this is how I would say it?
Yeah, so he had Emily Blunt, speech coach, work with him through this whole thing, and then like my verbiage and talking to him and all that stuff, mannerism stuff. He watched tons of film of me And he got the speech pattern because when my son saw the movie for the first time in New York, he called me up and literally is on the phone going, Dad, he's got your mannerisms. He's got your speech pattern. He even looks like you. You know, this whole thing. And I have this image of him like in the corner of the lobby of the theater, you know, off to the side going, he's a doppelganger. Dad, watch out. Like that's how, and I go, oh my gosh, that's validation. That's like, he did it.
He did it. And
Yeah.
when you had that moment at the Venice Film Festival and the 15-minute reaction that Dwayne talked about on the Tonight Show, he said that you were shaking throughout
Yeah.
watching the film.
Yeah.
What exactly were you feeling at that moment?
You know, it was the first time that I saw the fully cut version of it. I had seen a like 80% complete version earlier in the year, and it was the first time I had seen a complete version in it, and it just hit me a different way. It completely hit me a different way where, a lot of it was just the I could actually, it was like watching a home movie, right? And watching my behavior that I go, that wasn't very good, and everybody's watching it and I'm feeling it in a different capacity. And I start bouncing my leg and bumping into Dwayne, and I end up holding Benny Safdie's hand for the last like half hour of the movie because it just was like, they empathize and totally can feel me, around it. And it was just this beautiful moment where I look at it like it was therapy. It was a lot of seeing my part a lot clearer than I probably have ever seen it. And it just gave me going, shit, I need to own that too. I need to own that one too. And it's just like this, it was like, honestly, at the end of the day, it was able to just let that stuff go. All the shame that's around it, all the guilt that's around it. It's like I could just let it go.
Wow. I mean, so it's been a cathartic experience
Oh,
for you in a lot of ways.
absolutely. It's been on point. It's just been on point. In the process of everyone being there, yeah, it's been cathartic and rehabilitative,
Let me ask you this. The movie ends with you, not
Yeah.
Dwayne.
Yeah.
You were at the end of the film. Was that always supposed to be a part of the process, or when did that come in, and how did you feel about it?
Oh my God, that was Benny, and like going, hey, I need you to go to New Mexico. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, oh, we're filming in Mexico, that film. And then he described it. He goes, here's what we're gonna do. And I go, okay, like, what's like, where's the, and he goes, you're okay. You're all right, man. You made it through all this stuff. And you imagine like the end of the documentary, it left that big blank space, right? Like, where is he now? What happened? What's he doing? And then you watch the film, and then the end of it is me in the grocery store. And it kind of fills that gap in where no matter what happened between end of the film, end of the documentary, end of this film here I am, and everything's good.
Well, his name is
Yeah.
Mark Kerr, and
Oh man,
and
the whole crowd erupted in Venice with that, which is amazing. That doubled me over. I started just bawling.
well, it's an amazing story. It's an amazing film, and your career has been amazing. And as a longtime fan of MMA and the sport, thank you for what you've done for the
Oh.
sport. Without guys like yourself, we wouldn't be watching it on Paramount for this $8 billion deal. You
Right,
are
right.
that man.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Brad. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate the time, Mark. Thanks so much.
All right. You got it. All
Have a
right.
good one, brother.
Thank you.